Okay, so this is now episode number 2, and I am, I guess, feeling a little bit of relief, able doing the first one, kind of tell you guys a little bit about the backstory and where I was at and my, the path that I'm going down. So for today, I want to focus on, there's a few key things that I feel that everybody needs to know, but there are two types of clients. There's the clients that are, they want the direct answer, they want the direct information, how much it is, and all that, and nothing that you can say or whatever is going to help them make their decision. They just need to know the bullet points, the facts, and that's one type of client or customer. The second one is the one that's not sure. And they want to know about the products. They want the details. They want to know how it's going to benefit them. They want everything in it. And those clients are the ones that the story that you tell them will make the sale. You can try to do the same thing with the other client, and it can work in a lot of instances as well. But one thing I've focused on and kind of learned over the last 6 years is that you just want to work with the clients that you want. Like, not every client is going to be the right client. And there's going to be, probably a lot of pushback with this, but not every client or customer is right. I say that because I'm a customer myself, and in a lot of situations, and I'm not always right. So you're only right if you are right for that particular product or particular service. But if you're not, then you're wrong, and that's point blank. So on the flip side of that, with you being the one that's providing the service or the product or whatever, you want to know who you're targeting, who you're marketing to, who you're trying to reach out, and who you're selling to. And then at that point, know which kind of client that's going to be and how you're going to relate to them. The best way is telling the story so you can align with them. If you're not aligning with them at all, what happens is that you now create a barrier between them, and then that barrier, then you eliminate the trust aspect, which then eliminates the potential sale. But if you're on the same side with them, you're able to now talk in their language. You're able to see the problems as you're able to see the problems that they have as you've had them, and now you're able to walk together, and now people have that sense of like, somebody's on my side, somebody can help me out. And that's where the growth happens, that's where the sale happens, that's where the continues of upsells happen, and that's how you also keep retention. So those are the things that you need to focus on when you're trying to do a sale, is just know the client. Second is I kind of had like the light bulb go off. But there's a lot of things that people have already been doing for countless, days, hours, weeks, months, years, whatever, decades in some instances. And you'll notice that if you can find the constant in there, you've been preparing for something that's been intended for you for a long time. For me, like everybody as a kid was asking, like, Scott, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I'm like, I don't know, play professional sports. And then professional sports didn't happen. So then they were like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to do school? You're going to, like, no, like, I didn't feel that, school was going to help me get to the stage that I want to get to, because, for my reasons alone, I just felt like schools was molding me to be somebody else. And that's not who Scott Jackson is, and that's not who you guys are. You're intended for a specific purpose. But a lot of things, if you're keen and can really just hone in on what you've been learning throughout this time frame, you'll notice that you've been doing and practicing for something for when your opportunity or moment happens. It's almost like a Karate Kid scenario. Like, you've been practicing painting and waxing the car the whole entire time, and then when it actually finally happens, you're already in position, you already know how to do it, and you're already geared for it. So one of the things is just take some time to reflect on one of the things that you've been good at and you've been doing for all this time. For me, in this particular case, it's sales. I don't claim to be a salesman by no means. I don't like to quote unquote sell. But I've been in sales or retail almost all my life, starting out at a little job at Kmart to working online phone sales, doing sales for Verizon as a sales rep to manager, then working sales in the gym. Each part of my job required some level of selling. And throughout that, you learn, tips and tricks and hints and all this stuff throughout, this time frame. But the thing that I felt I feel that's the constant, and the things that's been proven true throughout this is that The selling is the selling of the story to the person and knowing the right client, the right clientele that you want to work with. If you don't know the right clientele that you're working with and you don't have a good story, you're not going to make the sale, point blank. There's nothing that you can do to overcome it. So know who you're selling to, why you're selling to them, and how your product or service is going to be better than anything else. And if you put your time, energy into it, make sure it's your very best. You don't want to go and just put half effort here, half effort there, because you're not going to be able to get the results that you want. Do it. If you're going to do anything, do it to your very best ability, because the quality of what you put out is what people are going to relate to. The quality that they receive is what people is going to keep them coming back to you. And then the ability to make sure that you are somebody who's credible, trustworthy, and who has integrity is also going to be the things that people are going to gravitate to. So, again, kind of summing up, there's two types of clients. Just make sure the client that you're talking to, you're able to tell your story in order to get to where you want to be at with that sell or product to that person. And then just know, find out that common thing that you've been doing over the last several weeks, months, years, or whatever, and see what you've already been prepared for that you didn't even know that you had existed. Once those distractions that are outside of your life are gone, you can focus on those things and really know how far along you can be. So that's a tip for the day, and I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Bye.